recording. Alright, people, what's good? What's good? What's good? And this is For the Lag of God. Alright, and today we are talking to Smudge D, rapper and founder of Higher Power Entertainment. What's good? What's good, Smudge?
Oh, not much, man. Just really appreciating you guys having us on, man. We're a big fan of the show. Yeah, just really appreciating everything you guys are doing for us on the regular. And then this is just a really great opportunity on top of this to really get to talk to you a little bit. And I'm glad, man, because you seem like a really good guy, dude. So it's going to be fun.
Stop it. You're going to make me blush on camera. Stop it. Stop it. No, mate, I appreciate the nice comments, and I appreciate you coming through to the show, and also getting involved, sending in the music and stuff like that. So yeah, mate, likewise, I appreciate you guys as well for coming through. Okay, so before we get into any of the higher power stuff, so you say you go by the name Smudge D. So I was wondering if you could tell us a little bit more, sort of where that name came from, and let's start there, and then we'll move into the other half of that question. So yeah, where did Smudge D originate from?
Fair enough, man. I really started rapping in it was late '90s. I was a teenager, and who didn't want to be a rapper at that time? But, we were having fun with it. And I was listening to I'm from Chicago, so I listened to a lot of Twista. And it was really, I had all these raps, and I was kind of recording them on a little tape player and just experimenting with stuff. And I had to find out, I was just looking for a name. And my last name is, an abomination. Nobody can. We were just talking about it. Nobody can pronounce it.
Mate, I have the same sort of last name, so don't worry. I know the feeling.
Smejkal, but people literally would call me Smejkal because that was like because I was Mike, and there were so many Mikes that they had to distinguish me from the other ones. So they basically called me Smejkal. So I was like, I gotta run somewhat off of that name somehow, so it kind of still makes sense. So I just took the first two letters, SM, for Smejkal, and made that into Smudge, which I thought of Smudge as it's imperfect. You know what I mean? It's art, so there might be a smudge. It's imperfect. That's what makes it beautiful, though. So that was the whole idea behind Smudge D, and D is my middle initial, and that's my grandfather's name. R.I.P. He just passed, but Donald. The D's for Don, and I say that in a lot of my lyrics is the D's for Don.
Random question, but you're not left-handed, are you?
I am not. Right,
that would be perfect, mate. That would be perfect, because I'm left-handed, and when I write, the amount of smudge that I get on the bottom of my hand, that would be perfect. That would be poetic.
Well, I was writing one day, and I was smudging with my hand, and that's where I got that idea from. I was like, smudge, and I was thinking to myself, I'm like, it's an imperfection. I'm like, I think that's awesome, because I was writing lyrics at the same time,
Yeah. So that's a Smudge D bit, and then you sort of said getting into music back in the 90s, and then listening to like Twista and stuff from Chicago. So what would you so you were writing lyrics in school, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So what?
Actually, I did a little bit of it all, man. I used to be in band class. I did drums for the retro band. I started off doing drums, then I got into guitar. We briefly had a band where I would actually rap with the band half the time. My brother was in this band. My brother plays guitar.
Nice.
We drove the school nuts, man, because we would be there at 5 a.m, and they would let us jam in the morning, and we would have a big crowd in there all set up. We were all set up just jamming, and they got so mad after a while. They're like, it's so loud. The teachers dismissed us, man. They were like, we couldn't even do it anymore. So
Man, I'm not
Oh man,
surprised at
that was
5 in the morning.
yeah, it was a hard day for us, but man, they shut us down.
Mate, that's some that's some real commitment. I'll tell you that. To get up and go at 5 in the morning, mate. I struggled getting up at 7 o'clock in the morning for work, let alone getting like. And back,
Yeah,
and back
no,
when I went
but
to school,
the
I
thing
hated
about
getting
it
up.
is, the people that came in to watch us at that time, that was the craziest part. Who wants to hear a heavy metal concert at 5, 6 in the morning?
Mate, that's some serious commitment. That
Yeah,
is.
exactly.
So what made you sort of like, really go into music? So you're writing lyrics, you're in the heavy metal band. Would you say that was sort of where your passion for it came, or would you say it sort of came later and you were like, yeah, this is what I want to do? What would you say was the factor in that?
The music was always my number one passion, like right off the bat. And I always wanted to, devote as much time as I could to it. It's always been a balance issue in my life, is I always want to fit more music in than I can. And God has kind of ground me in knowing that I have to balance my life with God and with my family and with everything else, to just kind of have that balance in life, because without the balance, the rest of your life's going to fall apart. And you definitely don't want just your life falling apart around you as you're trying to do this music thing. It doesn't work good.
Definitely. So, all right. So you're in school. You're writing lyrics. You're doing the heavy metal band, and so basically, I might have misunderstood this, but so feel free to put me on the straight, basically. But so music to you, it seems to me like it was your way of sort of venting what was going on in order to keep the balance that you say.
Well,
Basically.
yes. And on top of that, we came up from a very poor childhood. Me and
Cool.
my brother had a very poor childhood.
Mm.
We were abused a lot. We moved from place to place. Got bullied everywhere we went. My mom was a drug addict. We never knew my father. It was just a hard life for us. You know what I mean? And we lived with my grandma for a while. And that's literally when I was getting into hip hop, was when I was living with my grandma. And I was without my mom for just a little while. But it's all that kind of stuff, and just having that kind of emotional trauma. You seek outlets like this in your life, and and it was music and God got me through these times as a child. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Also, just really random. I don't know this. I should. Hopefully, it doesn't come out in the recording. But yeah, I just had like they just calling my name like why. I'm like, oh my god, like really. So yeah. So if you just see me randomly go like
that. All natural. It's all natural, baby.
Yeah, I'm like, oh
Don't
my
even
god.
clip
If like they don't call me all day and then they decide they're gonna call me now.
Hey. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like you're busy. Like, so yeah. Hopefully that won't come through. But if it does, yeah. Oh, whoops.
No kidding.
Okay, so so from keeping the balance with music, heavy metal and rap. So then, where would you say? I don't quite know how to put it. Like, yeah. So from going there at a young age, and then to come into higher power entertainment now, what would you like? Tell us basically the origins of what inspired you to start higher power.
Okay. All right. So, yeah, I was pretty much brought up religious less. I didn't have much of a religion. My mom would take us to Sunday school, probably just to kind of just get us out of her hands for a little while, because she was a single mother. Who would blame her? You know what I mean? but I think some of that sunk in, a little bit as a child. And once you get some of that just doctrine in you, it never kind of leaves. You know what I mean? And then I was like kind of a bad kid through school. So I ended up having to go to a Catholic school. I got kicked out of school. And I was into drugs and selling drugs and gangs and stuff like that. So they had to put me in a different school, and turns out that one was even much worse. But I kind of like always had God in my life, just sculpting everything the whole way. I never had God just leave my side. He was always there. I just never, put my heart fully towards him and gave him, submitted to all that you have to be like a good Christian, But I've been through a lot of stuff, man, and I just went through losing my mother.
I'm sorry, man.
I took care of her. I took care of her till death. She had massive tumors and just every kind of cancer imaginable through her whole body. So I lost her, and I was almost homeless because I was taking care of her at the time. I lost my job because I couldn't get to work all the time. I was about to lose my place. And I met an angel, which is, my now girlfriend, love of my life, Allie. And, we just kind of hit it off, and it was just a godsend. It was an angel that was sent to me at the, epitome of my worst times ever. And I was in trouble with the law. I just got a DUI and all kinds of really terrible things that just really just all spiraled into one thing. And I was drinking out of control and doing drugs, and it was just terrible. I lived the life doing all that, but it only takes one witnessing of God to really put all that in perspective, and to find out that you just were just being a bonehead, and all you cared about was yourself this whole time. And to put yourself in perspective. And really it was just to really have an awakening in God, and really submit to that, which is what really spawned the idea for this. And basically we just started this group on Facebook, and I just started kind of finding artists that were special to me, that had a complete different sound than anything else I was, listening to. That definitely had old school qualities, stuff that people, don't normally deem, the most popular things out on the market today. But I don't care. I was going to put out something good and with a positive message. That was the thing from the start. I did start out as a secular artist, but that was the thing from the start, was still to have a positive message. And the positive message where it started, but it really turns into, once you see God doing these miracles in your life and making problems vanish, renewing your relationships with your children, everything on earth can be solved by God. And that's how this was formed. It was just brothers and sisters just showing love for each other. We would put up 3 tracks a day, and we would just show love for each other's tracks and just talk about each other's tracks. It was just a group for talking about music and supporting each other, and putting up scripture and talking, positively with each other, because, there's not many places for talking positively. It's all about the negative stuff.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I completely understand what you're saying.
Yeah. So that's really where it came. And I just didn't see anything on Facebook or anywhere that was any kind of positive message. And this was before I had, now I've surrounded myself with godly people. Now, of course, I see positive all around me. it's a change that you got to be willing to make, but like it's an immense and insane change that will like brighten brighten your life, and really there's people that weren't into the religion that are falling in and starting to really enjoy the faith and enjoying the benefits from it and getting off drugs and all kinds of stuff. We support, recovering addicts. Most of the people in our, in our label, they're not well off. They're poor, man. We're not doing well. This is Jesus people. We're not out here finding the rich people with the got $1 million studios, like we're helping out these people and not charging them or trying to take their music, we don't want ownership of your stuff. We just want to get it out there for you.
Yeah. I was gonna say I saw that on the website as well, like on the Higher Power Entertainment, and basically it says, like we'll help you release, and we don't want anything in return. We basically just wanna help you out, and I was gonna say, like, that seems to be going pretty well. Like, seeing the pictures on the Facebook group, like in the 2 years that you started, like, you started in 2020, if I'm right, and then and so what you've done, like, with artists, and numbers wise on the Spotify as well, is like incredible, man. You got like some, like, you're well into the double digits of the thousands. I know that. So, mate,
yeah, man, we're blessed, dude. We just hit like 20,000 listeners on Spotify not long ago. It takes unity like this, bro, to make something like this happen. It doesn't happen. I don't take credit for this, and none of us really do. It's really God's. We put this in God's hands, and we just move with him and move in his honor, and then we know that we're doing it right that way,
Oh yeah, definitely. Definitely. Well, you're saying you started, so you started it as a Facebook group, Facebook page, looking out for other people that, as you say, you connected with, and then then obviously they've seen something in you that they've connected with, and now you've got what you've got. So so from starting the page, and being a network, sharing each other's stuff, and building the positive that that you're obviously doing, because otherwise you wouldn't be doing what you're doing in such a short time. So from there, what then sort of made you want to turn it into a label?
Well, I kind of shot myself in the foot on this one, because I always said, man, if I can't give out a big fat check to one of you guys, we're not a label yet. And I kind of went and I talked to God on that one, and he just gave me the go. He just said, you know what, turn this into something now and start it now, because you can't get this time back. I'm 39, bro. I've been doing music for a long time. I have a lot more years left in me, but that's why I want to do the label. It's not all about me. You know what I mean? I had to put Smudge D on the back burner because I need something that will last lifetimes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And eons, that will take care of my family for eons. And, like, just to be able to get something that's going to last. And that's what God does. He gifts you with things that last, and they don't come quickly, but they last forever. They're amazing things that just can't be broken.
Yeah. But so on that, you said we're not a label unless I can give you a fat paycheck. Yeah. I don't believe that. That. From what I've seen, yeah, you don't. Okay, so from what I've seen of what you do, and just sort of going off sort of what I've seen in other things, I wouldn't say that. All right, so I'd say you don't have to class yourself as a label just because you like. Oh, hang on. I've just completely messed up how I was going to say that. Right. Just because you haven't given someone a fat paycheck doesn't mean you're not doing what label stuff do. Like, look at all, like all the promotion and stuff you've done for the tracks. Labels do it. Okay, may not be talking big budgets, but you're getting it out there. You're sharing people's music. You've come into our lives. You've shared people's music. You've talked. You're still doing it. You're still doing the networking. You're still doing the sharing.
Hey man, we just started the radio station today, bro. We're growing every day. Like the next step is I want to be in TV. We're gonna try to get on a morning show. We're gonna get in anywhere we can. And this is the thing: we've got so many people networking and going at it on all different angles that the opportunities come up so much quicker. And that's what people don't understand is when you work in unity like this, instead of trying to fight it, you're gonna see it expand and grow. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. And also as well, like, okay, from streaming the money's not great, but it's better than nothing. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah,
so okay, you haven't got a fat paycheck of whatever you would consider a fat paycheck, but people are still getting some sort of money.
Well, I'm just helping people who weren't getting nothing to begin with. So
yeah,
or getting their music out to a huge platform and doing what we do. We're hitting blogs constantly. We are just constantly working. It's a well-oiled machine at this point to where it's going to be a big break. We just don't know exactly when. You know what I mean?
Oh, mate, definitely. And also, like the last thing as well, you also provide distribution. There's not like,
everybody don't do that. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And so you saying we don't consider ourselves a label because we don't get a fat paycheck? Excuse my French, but it's bollocks, mate. Nah. You know what I mean?
I have no idea how music works, my brother.
Hey, mate, no, I wouldn't really say anyone knows how it works. Do you know what I mean? Like, it changes so quickly.
Well, that's what we specialize in. You don't have to know everything about what's going on because we'll teach you as we go too. We're not gonna try to hold you back and not teach you what we're doing. We're trying to involve you, bring you in. And if you want to learn that, well, obviously that means you're going to participate and you're going to help us at the same time. You know what I mean? But that's how it works. It's a community. That's how God made us, man. We're supposed to work in community.
Yeah, definitely. Well, community's been around since like the cavemen, basically.
Forever.
If you didn't hunt or live in a community, you'd and you were a solo hunter, you'd be dead at night time. You hunt during the day, you've got to survive whatever the day brings you. You go to sleep at night, you don't know what's coming. So and that. Well, okay, we may have changed a lot since then, but we still
switch it up.
Yeah, we still need that community within us, because we can't always do everything at once, and we may not be skilled at everything. So sometimes we do need those people that are skilled in this thing so that we can be skilled in this thing. And we put it's like a bit off topic, but it's like if someone's good at gardening, do you know what I mean? We may not necessarily know how to grow crops, but someone else will. But we might be able to, I don't know, make a T-shirt or something. So they'll give us a tomato or a courgette.
Everybody has a piece. It's a building block. Some people are the foundation. Some people are just building blocks. Everybody has their role. Some people are pillars.
Also, as well, I want to just quickly go back to another thing you said there as well. Just taking the chance. You did, you said you didn't know what you were doing. I'm not gonna with my personal experience.
Does
as well,
anybody? Nobody knows. That's the thing. You gotta act like it and think like you do. That's all, man.
With my experience of doing doing For the Lag of God, I didn't know. Like, I didn't have a clue. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I didn't have a clue where I was going or what. And you know, I just finished my first year of uni. And this was just gonna be like a rough idea for a business plan going into my second year, because I had to, you know, I was doing business studies in the second year.
Yeah.
And then, you know, COVID came, and I was like, oh God, what do I do? So, like, in a way, it was also sort of a blessing, because it, you know, it gave me a little chance to get sort of like a head start on myself.
Yeah.
So, you know, I went and asked my teacher. I was like, look, I've got this idea, blah de blah, and he was like, okay, what do you need? Oh like, I don't know. I'll get back to you. Hang on. So, like, I had to go away, think about what I needed, and then
what do I need? What do I need?
yeah, and then he was just like, okay, now you've got it. Are you gonna do it? Kind of, because I get lonely. So yeah, all right. And then yeah, and then
when somebody pushes you to do something just a little bit, sometimes it's funny how that works out.
And like, so yeah, so I was like, yeah, all right. And then, you know, I did my first live. No one was there, but you know, I did it, and look at me now, too, like 2 years later. So yeah, definitely some, like, you may not know what you're doing, but if you kind of feel something, like, just turn it on. Like, literally, just, you know, if you're scared of going live or whatever, just like
try it.
Yeah. And like the good thing about,
I was so scared of live, dude. Before I started this about 2 years ago, I hated it so much, but I forced myself to go out there every other day and do it till I was comfortable doing it, you know?
Yeah, mate. It's a bit like, I was scared to go live as well. You know, like, I grew up, I was like very harshly bullied, had a little bit of a rough time at home, like with my dad and stuff. And you know, I was like, mate, I tell you, I won't lie to you, I didn't want to be the face of this. Like, I wanted to just kind of sit in the back and let someone prettier be the face. Do you know what I mean? I wanted someone that, you know,
you just wanted to run the show.
Yeah, I just wanted to just sit in the back and come up with ideas. I didn't want to do it, and then it was like, oh mate,
but
I can't.
You're so good, so there must have been a God-given talent there.
Yeah, and then so yeah, I was just, oh well, I'll do it, and then, you know, people saw that I was a little bit nervous, and yeah, from there it was just kind of, you know, people reacted to that, so it was like, all right, I know what I'm doing. Well, I don't know what I'm doing, but I know what I'm doing. But yeah, all right, so just
all it takes is to be yourself, man. That's it. That's all anybody wants to see, is they want to see you, you know. So that's a huge part.
Yeah, definitely. And the more you can sort of be authentic as well, and that's like, you know, the more people see it, the more, as you say, the more people will connect with you, because you know, that's how we're drawn to each other, basically. So yeah. All right, so with that, what inspired you to call it the Higher Power Entertainment? Where did that name come from?
You know what? It's funny. Like, it came to me, you know, as a gift from God, obviously, like, because it was just boom, it was just popped in my head. But you know, I think the only time I really heard that, and I like afterwards I thought about it. I heard it in a movie, and I think it was called. Oh no, it was actually what I was thinking about was the old movie Higher Learning. And I heard, and they were saying something like, I just watched the movie and they were saying higher learning, and I said higher learning, and I said, about higher power, and I don't know, it just came to me like that, like it was just out of nowhere. And isn't that the weirdest thing, when it wasn't even shaped like that? Yep. It was just, I heard higher, and it just, like, I spun it from there. I was like, higher power, that's exactly it.
Yep. Yeah, that's, mate, sometimes they're just the best one. They just come out of nowhere, but it's like, oh,
yeah,
okay, that's what we're going with. I like that.
I wasn't trying for it. At that point, I wasn't even thinking about that, but it just popped into my head, and I was like, when I heard it, I was like, wait, oh, okay, that's it.
You know, it's like, it's like when like when you're trying to think of, you know, like artist names or like for yourself or song titles, and you're like, oh, I don't really know, and then just that, and like, and then you know, you'll go away for a couple of days, leave it, and then all of a sudden it just comes to you, and you're like, yeah, that's the one.
Yeah,
that's the one.
Well, I thought of like, I was thinking of things like high in the sky and like clouds, and that was some things that were popping into my head. And I'm like, how do I like turn this into an idea? And it was when I stopped thinking about it completely and I forgot about it. That's when I got the idea.
Yep. Yeah, as you say, you went away, you relaxed, and shall we say, like, there we go. It was just given to you, basically.
Maybe just a little bit of an enhancement, and I figured it out. Yeah.
Hey, yeah. got to clear the brain to
exactly reset.
Yeah,
reset.
Yeah.
You know, we live in Colorado, so you know, a reset is needed once in a while. You know, some medication we do need a little medication in our lives once in a while.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, so earlier you touched on, you know, being Smudge D and putting your music, your solo music to the side. But how have you, like, how do you sort of find balance? Like, okay, so you don't do your single stuff, but how do you find, you know, balancing Higher Power Entertainment with other commitments? Like, how do you find that?
Well, I did just announce that I am going to be releasing this album that I completely sidetracked. I put it on the over here on the fences, and I just said, you know what, I got to start this up first. And I felt even if I still release the album, it'll be better to have the foundation of the label under it before I push the album. So I just didn't do anything on my own music. I still made music with other artists in the group for the label, but I just didn't do anything just on my own. But I will be releasing that soon. I think it's going to be done in the next month or so. So we'll have that whole album released on Higher Power, along with a few albums. We're going to have an album from Tiffany Polk, an entire album from Eric Cohen. Chris C12 is about to come up with an album here soon. So we got a lot of like entire albums coming, which is going to be another interesting part of it.
Yeah, I was going to say, because you so I've seen you guys sharing, you know, you shared the pre-save links for Dear Father with Tiffany. And then you've got With You as well coming up with, is it Jay Weezy?
Yes, it's Jay Weezy.
Yeah,
it's an unorthodox spelling, but that's what
I was because he spells it with an X, and I was like, is that Weeksy or Wheezy?
I think he probably had a problem with the copyright on that one, so he probably changed.
Yeah, and then and so you've got the other one. I should have written his name down. I completely forgot.
So OG Williams and Jake Shelley and myself have the song out just came out, Can't Be Stopped, which is an epic song, man. I want to have you try to run that one on the show soon, man.
It's definitely send it over, mate. Send it over. I'll play it.
This one's like the whole works, man. We got like we got the church choir singing on this one, you know, like it's just the whole operation on this one. So you're gonna love it, man. I can't wait to send it over.
Yeah, definitely, mate. Definitely. And then you also shared the, like, yourself, Smudge D, and God's Power. Right.
That's gonna be the new album coming. Yep. And that one's gonna have pretty much everybody on the label once again, and some of the people from outside the label, Christian artists and non-Christian artists. We work with, that's another thing, like a lot of people think that that's really odd, that we shouldn't, you know, maybe mix Christian with, you know, secular music, but we don't see a problem with that as long as our end product still meets our values in the end. So
yeah, definitely. Yeah. So with that, so how do you find balancing it with like other things, like like home life, work life, and stuff like that, or is high power just something you just do all the time?
Well, it's started as something I did, like night and day type, like obsession. I'm a real obsessive guy, recovered addict, like, so like I obsess over things, especially music is one of my huge things. And what God allowed me to do is like, replace the drugs with the music, and the helping of people is my new high, so.
Yeah.
Just helping people gives me the same exact feeling, if not better, most days. So like, I don't need all that goofiness,
Yeah, definitely. Like, and it's another it's another like it's an inspiring way to turn it around. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
not there. Unfortunately, not a lot of people can sort of turn it around in such ways. So some might go from one thing and accidentally get on another thing, because and a lot, like, I'm not saying that's the people's fault. Sometimes that's just from that's just from like the medication and stuff, because like sometimes they give you more shall we say more superior addictive stuff. I don't know if that makes sense, but like, so they give you something more addictive than the addictive thing you're on.
Drugs to get addicted to.
Yeah.
Right. No, I quit the stuff. I'm not afraid to say I was dead twice, bro. So I lived in Chicago, where there's an opioid crisis on every corner. A lot of my friends and loved ones all died off, and seen my mother's boyfriend died off of it. First time he ever tried it. He tried heroin once, and that was it. His life is over, because it was less laced with fentanyl, and that's in everything. You can't trust a pill, you can't trust anything off the streets. Even weed has got fentanyl on it now, so you have to be very careful. Don't buy this stuff off of Facebook or none of that crap, because you are going to get poisoned, guaranteed.
Yep. Yep. And yeah, it's crazy, some of the stuff. It's crazy. All right. So I was gonna ask you that one, but we've kind of touched on that one. All right. So we can't. So you remember the two questions I sort of told you about before? Yeah. So we're gonna get into them.
Here's the humdingers.
Yeah, I thought I'd beat around the bush for a little bit, but I've had enough. We're going in.
That's it. We're going for it.
Yeah, we're going in now. All right. So.
Bring out the bat.
So with Higher Power being a Christian label, how do you find mixing Christian beliefs in today's music industry? Now, I know you did just touch on that as well. So.
Right. I feel we need Christian beliefs in today's music more than any time ever right now, because we have a industry that's only feeding us hate and murder and sex and explicit sex crimes, and this is all put out for our kids to eat up and think that this is what our goals are in life. Because once you put this on the phone all day long, that's all they look at. It's just, they're selling them on just this life that doesn't even exist, because they see on these music videos piles of money and all these drugs, and these guys are just doing great, when that's not even the case. They're using prop money for their videos, and they lease most of their cars and don't even own a house, so it's like everybody's putting up a front, and when all they really need to do is just be themselves and be true. Those are the ones that are actually doing good.
Yeah, I agree. Like, I find I don't know, man. Sometimes I find it embarrassing. To look at.
There's no substance, is what I call it. There's just no substance whatsoever. There's nothing in there that I gained from listening to that at all.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, like, you know, I'll give it its props. You know, when you kind of in that mood, yeah, it's like, you know, you kind of want to like brag and stuff like that. Yeah, it's cool, but you know, it's like sometimes, as you say, you need some substance. You just get bored of listening to, you know, murder, kill,
Right.
and you know, when
Well,
you
and the same thing is, dude, I come from that music and I used to make that music, bro. So I'm not hating on anybody. And that's what a lot of things that I swear a lot of people just, and got their feelings hurt. And I don't mean any of that with me changing this label into what it is. It's not about that. It's about God's mission and what I'm supposed to be doing here on earth, period. It's not even really all to do with the label. It's to do with my mission for God. You know what I mean? So it's not anything personal to anybody. And I don't put down anybody's music or artistic value to what they do. It's just, for me, this is what I want to put out for my kids. That's all.
Oh yeah, definitely. You know, and like again, as you said there, like not taken away from, you know, it's still art. There's still an expression to it, but you know, having like, but sometimes we do just kind of need to switch up the, shall we say, the imagery now and then. But yeah, I'm not like, again, I'm not like hating on it. Again, it's an art form. You know, some people find it kind of hard to make. You know, sort of, shall we say, like music for clubs. You know,
right?
Like
some people just aren't those people. You know what I mean? Me, I like to be able to write songs that you can hear in the club or anywhere. You know what I mean? Like I like to do so much of a variety of different styles and songs because I just come from a musical background. I was brought up that way. I listened to oldies and country and heavy metal or everything, bro. You know, AC/DC to freaking punk rock. I listen to it all, so that's why I'm really not your average rapper, man. Like I I was on all that, plus Eminem and Tupac and Biggie in their prime, and Nas and Big Pun, like just all the greats that he just Big Pun you just don't even hear about enough. He was one of the the craftsmen of the game.
Yeah. Yeah, Capital Punishment was a hell of an album.
Hell of an album.
Hell of an album.
Yeah,
that was nuts. Although
he's one of those guys that could just take any verse and just run with it quickly and just dance around every rhyme. You're just like, how does he do this so effortlessly?
Yeah.
And he's this big old guy and he's barely taking any breaths to do it. It's like, wow, man.
Yeah.
Like with Biggie, at least you could hear in between his breaths. He's like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. So you say listening to a couple of the oldies. You just said AC/DC, so come on, let's get another couple. Come on, let's talk old.
Dirty D's, done dirt cheap. That's what I'm talking about, bro.
Yeah. So what other older bands would you say are sort of stayed with you?
Influential. Led Zeppelin. My top 3 probably. Beatles, obviously, but that's just like something I don't even need to say. I love Rush. I love Red Hot Chili Peppers, Sublime. I like Motown. I like it all, man. I could really literally listen to a whole genre different every day and still have all of my favorite songs on it. So yeah, I'm pretty rounded when it comes to that stuff. Even Frank Sinatra, show tunes, stuff like that. My grandma had me it was driven into my head, bro. So yeah, I know every kind of music. I was even trying to sample Frank Sinatra off my grandma's cassette tapes to make some ratchet beat that I was gonna try to sew it together somehow to make it work.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same, to be honest. Like I got into hip hop really late.
Yeah.
I know it sounds weird, but I wasn't a massive fan of hip hop like for years.
Yeah.
Um, in fact, I was kind of in and out of music. You know, like I grew up on a lot of the old stuff. You know, like I remember car journeys, like listening to Meatloaf, like Bat Out of Hell. You know,
Oh man, dude,
yeah,
I love Meatloaf, bro.
mate.
See, I used to get beat up for listening to Meatloaf on the bus, bro. So I don't tell
Those first
Meatloaf.
two albums were sick. Like Bat Out of Hell. Like, come on, who
I
makes a
got beat up for
9-minute
that,
track?
bro. I got beat up on the bus for that, bro.
Ah, they dickheads with no taste, mate. Mate, I used to love that. Like, and then Back into Hell. Oh man, like I still listen to them now, and I'm like, mate, I still love these fucking albums. Like,
Well, Metallica's the number one. What we really, me and my brothers, first of all, was our favorite band, man. That's what got us really started on the heavy metal music.
yeah,
Really.
nice.
We did a lot of stuff really catered to Metallica style songs when we had our band. We also had a band that we were all over Chicago with for a little while called Tantalum, me and my brother, but we won't talk about that right now, man.
Fair enough. Yeah, and like this might be a controversial thing as well, but I'm not a massive Beatles fan, man. Not a Beatles
Not a
fan.
massive Beatles fan.
Nah.
You know what? Doesn't hurt my feelings either.
Nah, I'm more of a my mum was a massive Rolling Stones fan.
Oh, I love Stones.
So yeah, I'm more of a Stones fan than
Well,
the
yeah,
Beatles.
that's kind of a UK thing, isn't it?
Hey, most people in the UK are also the Beatles. So you know
We gotta
we're
go
cut.
either way, though, right?
Yeah,
Isn't that a thing out there?
yeah. You're either the Beatles or you're the Stones, and yeah,
Exactly. Well, that's
I'm
what
the
they say. You
Stones.
gotta be one or the other. I don't care. I like them
It's
both, man. But
it's kind of like saying, are you Pink Floyd or are you the Who?
well, the Stones had better instrumentals, maybe than the Beatles. But I think the Beatles maybe even had better songwriting than the Stones. But apparently, in our lineage, in our bloodline, is George Harrison from the Beatles. That's what my mom has always told us. So
Yeah. That's pretty.
So maybe
Hey,
could be.
that's pretty dope, mate. That's pretty dope. You know, runs in the family. Bosh. There you go. There you go. You can't argue with that. All right,
Yes,
but yeah,
sir.
there's a hell of a detour. There's a hell of a detour. Although also my other favorite one I like to listen to, my kind of sort of guilty pleasure is Dolly Parton.
Oh, Dolly Parton.
Mate, love a bit
You know
of
what
Dolly.
else I love me some Garth Brooks, bro.
Yeah.
So I don't.
Hey.
I love some stuff that a lot of people don't even like. So it's all good. I don't care.
Hey, that's the pleasure of it, man. Finding those little things and just being like, yeah, that's the one. That's the one.
I saw Garth Brooks in Champaign, Illinois, man, and he was dope. Even though he was old, he did an amazing show. Amazing show.
Nice. But all right, well let's get off that tangent. Let's get off that tangent. Okay, so you sort of touched on this one as well, but I'm gonna give you the question. So do you feel that a lot of people are put off by the thought of Christianity in music?
Yes, I do. I've learned the hard truth on that. But I have made my goal, and I've pretty much made the bet I'm going to lay in now. And this is it, man. We're not like quitting on what we're doing. Some people might have a hard time with that. And, I'm sorry to all those people. I really am. But like, we had to figure out what we were and what we were doing with this, because if we didn't, then we would still be in the same situation we were in. I want to think to the future and what we should be, what God wants us to be. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
So yes, I do think that it puts a lot of people off. It secretly it touches on nerves of people that aren't in the spiritual realm, or people that don't accept Christ are definitely triggered by it. It's supposed to do that. I've even told people that got offended just by me posting scripture and stuff on Facebook. I'm like, well, I mean, just don't look at it. You know,
Yeah.
like block me. I don't know, man. What do you want from me, bro? Like, I'm not pushing it on you. I'm just posting it. Like, if you can take it or leave it. You know what I mean? I'm not pushing anything on anyone, even like people in our group that aren't Christian. I'm not saying like, be Christian. You have to be Christian. Like, do this, do that. You got to live this way. I'm not doing that to anyone. You know what I mean? And that's what a lot of people respect too. Or else, you know, like, it's just weird. We wouldn't have too many people that weren't Christian hanging around if we weren't like just a good type of people all around. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. I know I've run into a few things, especially with the name For the Lag of God. I've definitely ran into it a few times. You know, like,
it's a little bit of a joke. But I thought of it myself, and I'm like, you know what? I think it's meant to be. I don't care if it's a joke or not.
yeah, it's a joke. It is
a joke. But
yeah,
you know what? What stood out about you is that you had God in that. I didn't even care about the title. When I first saw it, I just saw God in it. I was like, you know what? That's a sign.
I'll take that. It
was a sign. I don't know. I took it as a sign, and that's how I started watching you. So, you know.
Nice. Yeah, it actually stems from like playing PlayStation with friends years ago.
Oh yeah, and it's just lagging.
Yeah. And you know, I think we were playing I think Division 2 had just come out or something. Just to sort of give you a time frame on it.
Yeah.
And yeah, we were playing it with friends. And it was just lagging all over the place. And then one day,
for the lag of God.
Yeah, and so you know, earlier we were sort of speaking about like when you're trying to think of names and you can't think of one, and yeah, and that's how it come about. Someone was just for the lag of God, and I was like, oi, that's a nice name.
That's it. Right?
Yeah, I was like, that's the one. And then
lives lag all the time, so that makes sense.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And you know, we were playing games for a little bit, and then we were just a bit bored of playing games now, and then we sort of stopped. So I had this channel already set up, and I was well, you know, I've got it set up. Why think of another name when I've already got this? And,
right.
Yeah, and that was it. I just thought I'd do it as a bit of a joke.
That's kind of what I've been doing. I've been just like taking my channels and just switching them over. I'm like, I already had my following on those. Why would I restart over? I'm like, I don't even care to have this. I'm just gonna go ahead and just rebuild on top of that.
Yeah, exactly. If you've already got it, you know, as you said earlier, you've
foundation,
sort of,
basically.
Yeah, you've got the foundation. All you need to do is just like decorate, basically.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, you just got to go in, throw up some new wallpaper, give it a Febreze, you're fine.
Yeah, give it a new little twist and be like, okay, this is the new thing.
Yeah, exactly. And then, you know, if some people don't quite remember what the channel was before, then they'll be like, oh, well, there was obviously some reason I'm following it. You know, just stay with it.
Well, I don't know. I'm here already, so why not watch?
Yeah, exactly. I can't be bothered to go and click on follow. Fuck it, let's just
it's tricky.
Yeah.
We tricked them into it.
Definitely, mate. Definitely. But yeah, that's all the that's it on my end, mate. That's it.
That's all we got, man.
Yeah, that's all I got. That's all I got. I thought I'd save those 2 questions till last because I was
I love your ending right there. You're just like, well, that's it. That's it.
Yeah, mate. I was like, because I wasn't really sure where that one was gonna go, so I was like, yeah, we'll call that one.
That's it. Well, bro, this is the one take. I told you with me it would be one take. We don't need to cut anything. We don't need to do anything. Maybe whatever you need to do to put whatever videos in it or whatever you want. But I'm saying, like, we don't really need to cut anything.
Yeah, definitely. No, it's been pretty good, but I didn't know how long you were sort of gonna how long you wanted to sort of go for. I mean, we've been going.
It's been a pretty long one, longer than I normally go. So yeah,
Yeah, it's
that's
been
good.
about nearly an hour. Like,
About an hour.
yeah, we're about 5 minutes short of an hour. So
nice. That's perfect because I don't have any of these longer ones out. So that's great.
lovely. All right, so yeah. So if you're all good,
Yeah,
we'll call it.
I'm just gonna shout out some of my
Oh yeah,
my
definitely.
and my label mates, man. Shout out to Eric Cohen, one of the best gospel rappers out there. Shout out to DJ Tune, Z76. He's God's Paling. He's one of the pillars of our company and just a great dude. And he's got some of the best house music out there. We got shout out to OG Williams. He's one of the best in the South to do it. He's out from Austin, Texas. Shout out to Antoine Thomas, which is Poetic the Missionary. He's a new artist. Check him out. Tiffany Polk out of Kansas City, along with C12. Eric lives out there too, man. We got a huge Kansas City presence.
Nice.
What am I know I'm missing some people. Brad, let me shout out RAP, Bradley Munier. He's one of the best. He's got one of the craziest styles out there. Please check out R.A.P. And you will not be sorry. What else? All right. Well, I know I missed. Oh, Pink Shark. Check out Pink Shark. He's got the dance rap vibes that you didn't know even existed. Come and check those out. Oh, you got Electra Olga that's got our rock opera vibe.
Yep.
Yeah, I think I almost got most of the big shots out there. We'll see. But I apologize to anybody I've missed, man. Anybody I missed with the label.
You've got a lot. You've got a lot of people. You've got a lot of people.
It's hard to cover them all, man. But I appreciate everybody out there. Kevin Jackson, Mad Love. He's gonna have a song coming out. But Tiffany Polk's got a brand new video dropping Monday. Yeah. Everybody tune in for that. Follow the Higher Power page. Yeah, man, just check us out, man. We're on all platforms. Check out the website and our new radio station.
Yeah.
FM radio station.
All right. So just quick, I'm gonna stop this recording, and then we'll quickly chat in the chat.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Cool. So this has been for the Lag of God, and we have been talking to Smudge, the rapper and founder of Higher Power Entertainment. All right, people, take it easy, stay safe, peace.